Fired up, ready to go. I can think of no better person to follow than Administrator and Elder Edward DuBose. I'm Attorney Gerald Griggs, the 13th President of the Georgia State Conference of the NAACP and the President of the Atlanta NAACP. And I would be remiss in my duties as troublemaker number one to not mention that not only in 1920 did the NAACP stand on these same steps in front of Big Bethel AME Church during our national convention that we stand now. And that shows the breadth of history of its association. So let's be clear. The last 100 days, we've seen this before, and we know how to fight. As was just mentioned by our national board member, all of the things that the national NAACP has done, but the state conference has also been vigorous in pushing back in Georgia. We have co-sponsored one of the largest actions on April the 5th that brought almost 30,000 Georgians together to push back against this administration. We then followed that up on April the 19th with another mass march and protest, and we will have another one on May the 1st. We have joined the list of coalitions that have filed numerous lawsuits and been successful against this administration. But what we need to do is to ground ourselves in this moment. In this historic plot, on this historic street, the civil rights movement was born on this street. And the civil rights movement will be reborn on this street. And so what we have to formulate and ground ourselves in this moment is this. We've been ready for this moment. You see the host of national partners that are behind us, but let's be clear. On day one, the current occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue took direct assault on minorities, particularly black people. With the passage and writing of his diversity, equity, and inclusion ban, he took direct assault on Jackie Robinson. He took direct assault on the 54th Regiment. He took direct assault on everything black. But as we know that black people and people of color always understand the assignment. And so we were present with our Latino brothers and sisters on Buford Highway when almost 10,000 people showed up to say no more mass deportations. We were present with our sisters who have always said that we want reproductive rights in the United States. And we were present on Sinai Day, which was also 404 Day, to kill that diversity, equity, and inclusion ban in Georgia. So in Georgia, we know how to fight back. And when we fight back in Georgia, we do what? We win. And so this is a clarion call not only to the rest of the state, not only to the rest of the nation, but to the occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. You still have a court date in Georgia. And so what we're calling for in this moment is for people of good conscience to get in contact with the 9 justices of the Georgia Supreme Court to remove the stay on that hearing and on that case so that he can have his due process. You know, the same due process he's denying to millions of immigrants and those that are trying to become citizens. He can have his due process, and we can get to the bottom of what happened to those 11,781 votes. So let's be clear, we're not powerless in Georgia. In fact, we lead the charge. We led the charge in 2016, we led the charge in 2018, we led the charge in 2020, did it again in 2021, did it again in 2022, and of course we led the charge in 2024. So it's no coincidence that we will lead the charge in 2025. But I want people to be clear. No one is above the law in this state. No one can change hundreds of years of history at the stroke of a pen. We have museums up and down this street. And if you ban those museums, we'll teach our children at home. But what you need to understand, and the people under the sound of my voice need to understand, is this is our moment. This is our movement. The ancestors are resting. Dr. King and John Lewis are looking down and they're saying, what y'all gonna do in this moment? How are you going to show that courage will not skip this generation? And we have accepted the mantle. Courage will not skip this generation. So I'm honored on behalf of the Georgia State Conference to join this august collection of organizations, but let's be clear, this is Atlanta, the birthplace of civil rights. We don't back down from a fight from anybody. There's an old saying in the NAACP that goes something like this: no mayor, no governor, no president of the United States should dare come for the civil rights of people of color and black people and not expect to hear from the NAACP. And so today, just like every day, we're ready. Whether it's in the streets, the suites, the houses of power, or where we want to see the 45th and 47th President of the United States. You have a date in a Fulton County Superior Court. Go ahead and make the date. We'll be there.